Alright everybody, and welcome to part 2 of our playthrough of Pokemon Trading Card Game for Game Boy. Let's go ahead and get straight into the game, but actually, now that I think about it, these little options up here called Card Pop. So back on the Game Boy Color, it actually had an infrared port, kind of the forerunner to the Pokewalker in a way. And you could put two Game Boy Colors across from each other and pop with another person who had this game, and you get a random card. There were a couple cards you could only get that way, by the way. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue from Diary. Alright. So we're going to go out of here. And let's see. Well, we have the water deck. Let's take a look at that in a moment. But so we probably want to go to the Fire Club first. But look. Wait, who's this? Yes, in Red, Blue, and Yellow you have Gary. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver you have Silver. In third generation you have Wally, and in Diamond and Pearl you have, I'm blanking on his name, the blonde-haired kid. Lucas? No, that's Earthbound. Anyway, in this game we have Ronald. And he's our rival. Let's see. Rhetorical question. Well, so let's take a look at our deck for starters. So we have the Squirrels and Friends deck. Let's take a look. Alright, now there's nothing else we can really change, but notice we have 2 Squirtle, 1 Wartortle, 1 Blastoise, a couple Seal, Dugong, Goldeen, Seeking, Staryu, Starmie, Lapras. We also have these guys, Machop, Machoke, Geodude, and 1 Hitmonchan. And we have Abracadabra, Ghastly, and Haunter. Now, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we have this Ghastly. It's just pretty terrible. It does no direct damage with either its attacks. And actually, its first attack is flip a coin for 1 energy, 1 psychic energy. Yeah, it had to get the Pokemon asleep. So basically, there's a 25% chance that your opponent's Pokemon will stay asleep. And then we have Destiny Bond, which you can discard a Psychic Energy card to use, and then if a Pokemon knocks out Ghastly during your opponent's next turn, knock out that Pokemon. And it's all in all pretty terrible. Then we have Haunter. Haunter's not that great either. It has the Hypnosis attack, which at least is automatic sleep, but it also has the Dream Eater attack that doesn't work. We get unless the Pokemon you're against is still asleep, which is again only a 25% chance because they get 2 chances to wake up. So you can imagine I'll be replacing this as soon as the opportunity arises. Eradicate, Meowth. So we have a bunch of trainers. I'll get more into those later. And a bunch of energy, too. So anyway. Of course, I chose the Fire Club because fire is weak to water. So let's go ahead and try out one of these guys first. Here's John. So he has an anger deck. So John is running into a scenario where if you draw your 7 cards at the start of the game and you have no basic Pokemon, this is called a mulligan. Now, in the current day trading card game, the player, if one of the players doesn't have any basic Pokemon but the other one does, the person who does have a basic Pokemon would set up, and then after they place the prizes, they would get to draw an additional card if they wanted to. Now, at the time back then, they could actually draw 1 or even 2 additional cards. But in this game, for some reason, no one gets to draw any additional cards no matter what the mulligan situation is. Now, by the way, in the trading card game, if neither player has any basic Pokemon, you just start over, no one gets to draw any additional cards. But to prove that John doesn't have any basic Pokemon, he's going to show us his hand. And then he'll start over. So let's see, what did we get? Well, might as well start here. This isn't awful, but let's see what we can do here. Four prizes. Most of the games in this game are going to be 4-prize games, which means they go a little bit faster. Looks like I play second. Finish the turn without attacking. This works out well. Let's check out Cubone quickly. For some reason, over the years, there doesn't seem to have been too many Cubone and or Marowak cards. I don't know if it's just seems that way to me, or just they don't put them out too often. So this is the Jungle Cubone. It has 2 attacks. One of them is Snivel, which, if the defending Pokemon attacks Cubone during your opponent's next turn, any damage is reduced by 20. And then Rage, you can remember this was called the Anger deck. A lot of his Pokemon do more damage depending on how many damage counters are on them. So we see the Rage attack does 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on Cubone. I'll take a look at some of his other Pokemon maybe later, but for the time being, let's just go ahead and grab a Fighting Energy, because we'll need to use that to attack. And we use Low Kick. It's 20. We're lucky. John doesn't... Oh, we're so lucky. We're going to get to knock out Cubone. And we got a Seal, so let's go ahead and attach a Water Energy to Seal. And let's do another Low Kick. And now we get a Doduo. One head, one tail. So Doduo, which I'll show you in a second once my turn starts. Oh, I have a Geodude as well. I may as well put that on my bench. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look over here. So Doduo has 1 attack. You'll see that a lot. Pokemon never have more than 2 of a combination of attacks and Pokemon powers in this stage of the development of the game. So you'll see a lot of Pokemon with only 1 attack. So Doduo, it's just a running Doduo. As you might expect, it has no retreat cost. Flying Pokemon tend to have very low or no retreat costs in the trading card game. Weakness is Lightning, Resistance is Fighting, which means my Machop can't do any damage to it. Resistance is really good because it's always minus 30 in this, in the older cards like this. And the attacks don't do a ton of damage, so it's really hard to get past it. Anyway, so while I'm waiting, let's go ahead and throw a Water Energy on Seal. And while I'm at it, let's play Professor Oak. So Professor Oak is a card that you would probably never see at this point ever coming up again in the trading card game. So what Professor Oak does is we discard our hand, and then we get to draw 7 cards from the top of the deck. Now the problem with this is it's very hard, especially with the limited card pool, to get Pokemon or any cards out of your discard pile and back into your hand. So as a result, of evolution decks tend to suffer quite a bit in this game because of the limited draw support. But we did get a bunch of stuff this way. Let's go ahead and, first of all, let's take a look at Squirtle. So Squirtle has 2 attacks, and it's just a Squirtle standing on a rock. Looks like it's letting out some bubbles from its mouth. It has 2 attacks. One of them is Bubble. It's 1 Water Energy, does 10 damage, and you get to flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Pretty good. And then we have Withdraw. So that's a Water and then 1 more energy of any type. It says flip a coin. If heads, prevent all damage done to Squirtle during your opponent's next turn. Any other effective attacks still happen. So it's actually pretty decent, although it only has 40 HP. But we're going to put it on our bench so we can do that. And I want to play one more trainer. This is Pokeball. This has been reprinted numerous times, and basically what it does, it's the original coin flip trainer, I guess, so to speak. You get to flip a coin. If heads, you get to search your deck for a basic Pokemon or evolution card, show that card to your opponent, and put it into your hand. Many different ball variations over the years. You know, of course, there's Dusk Ball, Master Ball, all types of balls within the trading card game. Let's go ahead and play it.